Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day. And today we're going to be talking about the Houston Astros potentially signing Alex Verdugo, who is an outfielder, can play all in the outfield, left, center, and right, which I think is great for a team like the Astros, who are so needed, needs so much in the outfield. And that's one of the reasons why I'd love to see Verdugo signed, is because you can plug him in anywhere. Like, one guy I really want the Astros to sign is Anthony Santander, because of what he can bring value-wise with the bat, big power swinger, right? You bring him into Daikin Park, place where it's really easy to hit home runs, probably easier where he was just playing in Baltimore. He just had a 40-plus home run season. That would be a great addition right there for the Astros. But here's the negative thing about Santander that, not the case with Alex Verdugo. He can only play in right field. You can't put him in left field. You can't put him in center. Verdugo, you can put him in right. You can put him in center. You can put him in left. Right now, the Astros have Dubon in left. If Jordan's going to be back at the DH more, you got Dubon at left. You got Chas in right, and Jake in center. And I'll be honest, I'm actually really excited about Dubon being an everyday starter. And this is a guy who batted near 270 this year, so I'm actually excited about that. And Jake, I think he's a great defensive player, but he has his really bad slumps offensively. Chas was terrible for most of the year. I think if Chas gets back to the form he was hitting in 2022 and 2023, then hey, he's pretty good he's a pretty good asset to the lineup. But based off of 2024 Chas, But also another thing you got to think about is potential injuries in the infield is something I'm thinking about. Because if you have potential injuries in the infield, Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Isaac Paredes, Christian Walker, those four guys in the infield, mainly just focus on Pena, Paredes, and Altuve. One of those guys goes down. I think one of the guys that's going to be favored to potentially get playing time if a Pena or Altuve or a Paredes takes an IL stint, Dubon would get some playing time. Like, Dubon has been, whenever Altuve gets injured, Dubon gets a lot of playing time at second. So, like, if Altuve needs to go on the 10-day injured list, I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, and Dubon needs to fill in the infield of potential injuries, then, what's the deal? What's the deal with the outfield? Because then you might be stuck on, hey, Jordan, we need Jordan more in left, but we want him playing more at DH than left. We don't want him playing playing in left as much. And then I guess we can have someone else at the DH if Jordan's going to be in left at much. If Jordan would be back at left more, but that's why I'd love to see the Astros go get someone who can play all three positions, because you can play it by who's playing good and who's playing bad. Like, Verdugo come in, let's say, base it off coming in spring training. Say Chas is having a little bit better spring than Jake Myers is. Start off the season with the outfield being Dubon, Chas, and Verdugo. But hey, if Dubon or Chas is struggling a little bit, bring Jake back, and then the infield, let's say Chas is struggling a little bit to start off the year, then Jake's in the outfield, he's playing a little bit more than Chas, and Verdugo's in there, Dubon, and you can play it by who's struggling. If Jake goes through Jake through the end of the year went through a huge month or two, stretch where he was just terribly offensively. You'd love to have a guy like Verdugo to step in and, you could put Jake on the bench, you could have Verdugo offensively, or like Dubon had his stretches too, where he was bad. You could bring in Verdugo. Chas had a lot of bad stretches as well. But Verdugo, look, I don't think he's the best offensively, at least I'm going to go off of what he had last year, but I wouldn't say he's better than Dubon, because his numbers aren't better than Dubon, but it's definitely better than Chas, and it's definitely better than Jake. 2024, 149 games, 559 at-bats, 74 runs scored, 130 hits, 28 doubles, 1 triple, 13 home runs, 61 RBIs, 49 walks, 93 strikeouts, batting average was .233. Now, look, you look at it. If you look at his stats outside of his 1 year in New York, this is you could be getting a really valuable player to this team. 2023 with Boston, in 142 games, 546 at bats, 81 runs scored, 144 hits, 37 doubles, 5 triples, 13 home runs, 54 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 45 walks, 93 strikeouts, 264 batting average. OPS was 745. Year before in 2022, he had a 280 batting average. Year before in 2021, 289, 308 in 2020. 2019 with the Dodgers, 294. This guy has been, before New York, has been a great hitter. And you want to look at his numbers as a hitter before his time with the New York Yankees. He's better than every single guy in the outfielder. And a lot closer to Yordan Alvarez than any of the outfielders are. I'm not going to say he's better than Yordan Alvarez as a hitter if you look outside of this past year with the Yankees, but I think he's kind of close to Yordan. I mean, I don't think he's really close at all to Yordan, but a lot, I think Verdugo's a lot closer to Yordan than Dubon, Jake Myers, or Chas McCormick are. If you look at outside of this past season for him, all the years prior in Boston or last year in LA with the Dodgers. So he could be very valuable to this offense if the Astros bring him in. But he's got a hot market. But I know 2 guys I really want the Astros to bring in. One's Verdugo and one's Santander. But I think there's much more of a flexibility with Verdugo than there is Santander. Like Santander, he's only going to play right, and what most likely what it would mean if Santander came in is Santander would play right, Jake would be in center, Dubon would be in left, Chas would be on the bench, and if Jake is struggling, Chas come in, get playing time. Dubon struggling, Chas does the same with Dubon. But if it's Verdugo, he can play all 3, and you can really just base it by on who's struggling, who's doing well, and with Verdugo, he can play all 3 positions, which I think would be great. So let me know your thoughts on the Astros potentially signing Alex Verdugo in the comment section, and peace out.